Hi guys, today's video is going to be a review of a palette that when I saw the sneak peek, actually the owner sent me this in DMs and she was like, would you like this in PR? And I was like, oh my god, yes, I would love that because it is absolutely beautiful. So this is from Sugar Drizzle. You guys know how much I love Sugar Drizzle as a brand. I love their formula. I think that they have amazing shimmers. Not a huge fan of their mattes, so when I saw this palette and it was all shimmers, I was so excited because I knew I was going to love it. So this is the Sugar Dreams palette, and this is a palette full of basically like pastel shimmers and duochromes and multichromes, and like I said, when I saw this, I gasped because I knew this was probably going to become one of my favorite Sugar Drizzle palettes, and I wasn't wrong because I've already done 3 looks with this. I'm gonna do another look on camera and I'm gonna show you the other 3 looks that I've done at the end of the video while I give you my review. But I think we should just go ahead and get into this. So I've said many times that my preference when it comes to shimmers is for them to be more like mid-toned or light rather than dark shimmers. And this palette is literally perfect for me because all of these are quite light shimmers and I really like that. Now there are some different formulas in this. There are some that are that very, very wet looking kind of metallic-y shades, which I love. And you have a couple that are a little bit more subtle, sort of leaning almost more like a satin, but they're more intense than a satin and they look really, really nice on the lids and they wear beautifully. Like the wear time on this palette for me, even though I do have hooded eyes and sometimes formulas like this don't wear that well, has been amazing. So far I would highly recommend this palette. I do have a code with Sugar Drizzle, it's just Annette and it will save you 10% off. This palette does launch today and it's going to be $45. It should already be live when this video is going up. I don't think I'm gonna have time to post this before the launch, so hopefully it's still going to be available, but I will leave the link down below if you want to go check out this palette because it is stunning. I just want to play with this, I just want to have some fun, and I have an idea for what I want to do because did I see this? I think I saw this like in an ad on Instagram or something, and I took a screenshot of this because I thought that this look was so cute. Now, I get that this is like an all matte look with a graphic liner, but I want to do something sort of similar. I want to do a neutral crease and I want to do the pink shimmers on my lid and then do like a pop of graphic liner and then maybe some lashes because I just think that this looks so cool. So I want to do something sort of similar, but I want to use shimmers instead of mattes because I just prefer using shimmers personally. So I'm gonna go ahead and start by priming. We're gonna get into this and we're just gonna have a good time. We're just gonna play. I've had so much fun just playing with graphic liners and just adding things to my looks lately, and I just feel like it's made doing my makeup, not that it's not been fun, but it's made it more exciting again because it's like, it's new, it still feels different, it still feels exciting, and it feels like a way to, you know, at some point when you do only powder eyeshadows and you're doing your makeup pretty much every day, like, it can start to feel like you're repeating looks. And I'm not a look repeater. I don't like repeating looks unless it's something that I absolutely love or something that's super simple. I rarely, if ever, like repeat a look. And sometimes I feel like, you know, there's only so many color combinations you can do, right? So when I've been able to add stuff to it, I feel like that makes it fun again, even though you're still doing sort of like, you know, maybe the same matte looks and same shimmers paired with the mattes that you've done before, but adding something different just spices it up. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but I'm excited. So I'm going to use this quad from Kaleidos for my mattes because this is basically all I need. I'm just going to use a combination of these 3 mattes basically in my crease and just do a like pretty basic neutral crease, and then we're going to go in with the shimmers and have some fun with that after. So I think I'm just going to speed through the mattes because it's really not all that exciting. I'm just gonna do something, like I said, super, super basic and simple. But I do want this to be nice and dark and smoky. Me saying I'm going to speed through this and then I'm like, I'll talk. I just had this thought when I was putting on these mattes, being like realizing for myself that, you know what, I've actually kind of been into neutral mattes lately. And you guys are gonna be absolutely shocked, but I actually made an order from Dose of Colors yesterday and I bought one of their like 5-pan matte palettes, like the neutral ones. It was called like the Baked Browns 2 or something like that. I know I mentioned this before, but I do have a 2-week-long pretty much trip coming up, and I just thought that having something like that could be a really nice companion palette to like all of my, you know, colorful palettes that I'm going to be bringing, and just to have like a condensed version of an all matte neutral palette, because that's not something that I feel like I don't want to have to bring a whole palette just for some neutral mattes, you know what I mean? So I actually bought one of those. I don't think I'm going to make a video or anything like that on it. Let me know if you want to see that, and I can definitely do that, but it's not going to be, I mean, super exciting unless I do something like this, which I absolutely could do. I think the thing for me with neutral, like fully neutral palettes is that I don't like neutral mattes paired with neutral shimmers. Like that to me is really boring. I like neutral mattes if I can get them to be nice and smoky and dark and then pair them with like exciting things. So for me, a neutral palette usually wouldn't be my thing, but since it was an all matte palette, I felt like I'm actually gonna get some use out of it, and that's kind of exciting. And I never thought I'd be the person who'd be like, I'm gonna buy a neutral palette. But here we are. You know, it's fun how just your preference kind of changes and evolves and your taste changes. I feel like it's like that with fashion as well. Like I go through phases where I like certain things and then, you know, a month or two later, I'm like, why did I, like, how did I ever wear that? Like, what made me think that looked good, you know? And then I'll just start gravitating towards other pieces in my closet. And I feel like it's the same way with makeup. Like, I have phases where I go through certain things, like maybe it's like graphic liners, or maybe it's using rhinestones, or just whatever it is, you know, you have a moment with each thing. And I feel like right now I'm kind of having a neutral crease kind of moment, and I'm not mad at it because I think it looks honestly really good with like any shimmer you can pair it with. And it's also super simple, like on days where I don't want to really think too hard about what to do, unless I want to do like a monochromatic blue look or a monochromatic anything. It's nice to just start with some neutral mattes and then go from there and still make the look exciting. Like I'll never be that neutral person who's like all about the neutral looks, because that is not me. Like glam neutrals are not me, but I don't know. There's something about this kind of stuff that makes me more excited than I ever thought. And it's fun to, you know, just like different things that maybe you didn't used to like. And speaking of my trip coming up as well, I know I asked in a previous video if you guys wanted me to like document the looks that I do when I'm traveling, because I'm obviously not going to be filming while I'm gone, just by taking pictures and stuff, and then I can make a full video when I get back kind of showing the pictures and letting you know like what makeup I actually used out of what I brought and the looks that I ended up doing, because I thought that would be really interesting. And I feel like the response to that was pretty good, and a lot of you said you wanted to see it, but I figured I'd ask again just to make sure if there's something that you want to see, just let me know, because I do plan on doing that, and I think it could be really fun for me as well, because a lot of the time when I'm traveling or I'm like not filming, I'll, you know, forget to take pictures of my looks and stuff like that, and I really enjoy going through my camera roll and looking at the pictures that I've taken of my makeup, because sometimes if you get in a rut, it's nice to kind of just have something to inspire you again. And sometimes I'll go through my pictures and be like, oh, I really like that look, I want to do something similar again. And I just think that could be kind of fun. But this is looking really good. I'm gonna go in with the darker brown as well here, just to really deepen this up. Also, I do want to say sorry for not posting that much lately, but I had a friend in town who was here for like a week and a half, and it basically was just hanging out with them for quite some time, and I just didn't want to, you know, spend the time filming and editing when I was able to hang out with someone that I never get to see. So that was fun, and I'm excited to be back to filming a little bit again before my trip. So hopefully there should be more content in the next 2 weeks or so. And then when I'm gone, I'm probably not going to be posting or pre-filming anything, because like I've said before, I really just want to enjoy my trip and not really have to like think about work and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on some glitter primer, and then we're gonna use some of these pink shimmers. I think I'm only gonna use 2 of them because I don't want like multiple colors. I just want to have like a kind of light wash of pink on my lid here, and then we're gonna play with the liner detail after, and I think this is going to end up looking really fun. So I'm thinking the ones that I want to use are probably going to be, my memory is not that good. I don't remember exactly which ones I haven't used. I think I'm gonna use these 2. I also haven't used this one. I've used this one, but I don't know if maybe I'll use these 2. Not sure how well this is going to go with like a pink liner, but I mean, hey, let's just try it. I'm gonna start with this shade. This is the one called Sweet Dreams. And I'm gonna do that on the outer portion of my lid, and then I'll do the pink in the inner portion. Just gonna basically put down a lot of this, and then I'll go back in with that dark brown and just finesse the outer corner after. But I love that color. Like, that is so pretty. And for the front portion, like I said, I'm gonna use the shade called Sugar Overload, which that was me yesterday because we ordered Cheesecake Factory and I ate too much cheesecake, but not even sorry because it was delicious. Let me know what your favorite cheesecake from Cheesecake Factory is if you have one and if you've tried it. And if you haven't tried it, look at their menu and let me know which one you want to try because their cheesecakes are so amazing. I think my favorite is the Oreo one. That's the one we had yesterday. And we also got the pineapple upside down cheesecake, which was interesting. Not my favorite cheesecake I've ever had, but it was certainly good, but I don't think I would get it again. And I don't know if I like how these are meshing together. I feel like one is way more cool tone and the other one is way more warm toned. But I think with the liner, it's going to come together, but I'm not loving the combination between these two shimmers, but that is totally fine. I was just expecting this to be a little bit more pink on the lid rather than sort of blue looking, but that's kind of what you get with duochrome. Sometimes they surprise you and you don't know what you're getting until you put it on the eyes. But it's still a beautiful color. I just wish I paired it with something else. But like I said, I still think that we're gonna get a really cool look out of this. So what I'm going to start with is I'm going to use this liner from JD Glow. This is my favorite. It's just a neon pink liner. I will link this down below. I've said before, I think that their packaging is different now. I've had these for quite some time, so I don't know if they reformulated or just repackaged, but if you look on their website, it's not going to look exactly like this, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same product still. So I'm going to start by just making a quite thick line on my top lid here. And by quite thick, I mean quite thick because I do think I'm gonna go in with a bit of black just close to my lash line after this has dried down because I do, like I said, I think I want to put on some lashes as well. I'm gonna make a little wing, just a tiny, tiny baby wing. I'm trying to stay focused, but somehow all I can think of is when you split. I gotta find the motive. Play forward, watch every sequence bit by bit. I'm just going to really wait for this to dry because I don't want any kind of transfer into my crease, which easily would happen if I don't do that. So I'm just gonna sit here on my phone for like 5 minutes and make sure this doesn't transfer, and then I'll do the sort of front portion line as well. Hopefully I'm not gonna mess that up because right now I really like how this is looking. Finding out why you left. I keep on searching for the missing pieces, try to find the reason why I ended up. I just went ahead and I did a little bit of black liquid liner just at the very closest to my lash line because I feel like when I'm going to put on the lashes, it's just going to look a little bit better and come together. So I'm going to go ahead and try to put on a pair of lashes. Not sure which ones yet, hopefully. I mean, this is gonna make or break the look because either it's gonna look great or it's gonna look kind of wonky, but let's see what I can do and I'll come back and I will show you the final look. All right, so this is the final look and I think I did pretty good. I mean, the application isn't perfect, which is rare for me that I get it perfect, but I feel like I'm getting better every time I do it, and that is definitely progress, and that is all you can ask for because you're never gonna get perfect at something the first time you do it, or even the 5th time or the 20th time. Or I don't even know how long it's going to take to be perfect at doing lashes, but I feel like I'm getting to the point now where I'm comfortable putting on lashes on days where I know I have to go somewhere and I don't think I'm going to ruin my makeup by doing so. Which is nice because I've been able to wear lashes out a lot more often and they make me feel good. They make me feel really pretty and just very girly, and I like that feeling. These are the Hepburn Lashes from Battington Beauty. I've been talking about this brand for such a long time. I absolutely love them. They're like one of the few lashes that I feel like really suit my eyes. I like how kind of long and spiky they are without being, I mean, they still look like lashes, but they're not so out there that you'll see that I'm wearing lashes from like, you know, across the room. And I like that. I like that they're a little bit more understated, but they're still really just beautiful lashes. And speaking of beautiful, I also think that this palette is absolutely beautiful. I've had a great time with this. I literally have not a single complaint because I think that it's just a really beautiful palette overall. And this green is so intense. I will show you the other looks that I've done with this because I'm so happy with all of them. And like I said before, I think that Sugar Drizzle has an amazing formula. Now, I've also mentioned before in the past that some of their other palettes have had some issues with like oil seepage due to just being too much binders in the shadows and them being a little bit too creamy. There's nothing like that in this palette. There's no issues at all with that. I don't know if they changed their formula a little bit and tweaked a couple of things, or maybe the background is making it so that it doesn't show, but I feel like on this background, if that was an issue, it would show. And I am not having anything with this palette, and I think I'm probably going to bring this palette when I travel because this is my favorite Sugar Drizzle palette so far. I think that just a combination of the tones in here are just shadows that I gravitate towards a lot. And I really like the fact that a lot of these are super light and they can be sort of multi-used. You can use them in the corner shades, you can use them as lid shades, you can do very simple looks, you can mix them together and get something a little bit more dimensional and ethereal. You can use them with basically anything. I mean, I use these with some pastels from the Glamlight ice cream palette and it looked so good. And I used one of them on their own with a graphic liner, and I loved every single look that I did with this. And like I said, the wear time is amazing. And I would highly recommend, if you haven't tried out Sugar Drizzle, I think this is a really good place to start. Not only is it a really cute palette, it's also very small and compact since it only has 9 shades. I do wish that these palettes were magnetic, but that's just me being kind of nitpicky because that way you could sort of mix and match them if you wanted to, like in between the palettes. I think that would be a really cool idea. Maybe something they could keep in mind for future, but I really like this palette. I'm super happy I have it. I'm super grateful that they sent it to me, but I certainly would have bought this palette myself if I wasn't sent it because I just know for myself that this is a palette that I'm going to be reaching for a lot, especially when I'm not filming. I feel like this palette might end up in my top 10 of the year. I'm just kind of putting that out there right now because that is how much I love this palette, and I'm excited to see where it's going to end up in my next palette ranking because I have a feeling, just speculating, that it might end up on top, but we'll see. I mean, there's always more palettes coming in, so it has pretty high competition because I feel like the level of eyeshadows at this moment are quite high, and there's going to be, you know, definitely some contenders that I know are coming in that will, you know, fight for this palette's place. But overall, I love this palette. I think it's great. Would highly recommend it. Let me know if you're interested in this palette. Is this going to be the one that you're going to pick up? And if there hasn't been any perfect palettes from them yet, let me know what you're looking for. Like, what is it that you want to see from the brand in the future? Because I would love to know, because I feel like they can go in so many different directions because they don't really have a niche per se, except for just having beautiful shimmers. They're not like tied down to any specific theme, and they can do really whatever they want. And I think whatever they come out with is just going to be like super fun and playful, and that's the kind of theme that I get from the brand, is just being playful and fun. So yeah, thank you so much for watching as always. If you want to see some other multiple look videos, actually let me make a Sugar Drizzle playlist because I have enough videos by now. I'll put that right there if you want to see some more from the brand. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.